Hello everyone, today I would like to share with you the Shihsanhang Museum of Archaeology. So the Shihsanhang Museum of Archaeology is located in Bali district of New Taipei City, just on the left bank of Damshui River. So what does Shihsanhang means? Some suggest that is because in the past there's some business going on and there are 13 different shops and vendors, so that's why this place is called Shihsanhang. Also, some people suggest that it's because there are 13 people or the first developer that came into this place to develop this place, so it's called Shihsanhang. Also, very lastly, some people also suggest that it's because this name is from Aborigine, so you cannot understand it with the Chinese language. There's no conclusion to this, so you just remember it's called Shihsanhang. How this place become a museum? So in the very beginning, there's an Air Force major, an Air Force pilot. He was flying over this region and towards Guanyin Mountain. Whenever he flies to this region, he realized there's some errors on his campus. I mean, the campus doesn't behave well. In the beginning, he's suspecting that here there's an iron mine or a metal mine, sort of thing that had impact to the campus on his equipment. So what he did is he found a geologist, and they together came to this place and tried to do some investigations. They discovered metal, irons, but they also discovered other things. They discovered pottery, they discovered some of the stone settles. They also discover other kinds of metals such as gold, silver, and bronze. As they dig out more relics and artifacts, they realize this is something bigger than a mine. So later, it's confirmed that this is actually a historic site, and historic site is registered in the government that is certified that this is actually a historic site from about 800 to 1,000 plus years ago. But in the 1990s, the government decided to build a sewage plant in this area to actually get all the sewage dirty water into the plant and purify it and put all the water into the sea, which is good for urban development, but I mean bad for the historical site, as many of the artifacts and relics are not fully on Earth yet. It was a controversial construction at that time. A lot of people from the research community and also from the culture community condemned this project. After a lot of protests and negotiation with the government, the government decided to have some compromise. So what they did is they still built a sewage plant, but they will establish a museum and also to preserve, to promote and exhibit the things that were on Earth and do further research on these kind of prehistorical cultures. So that's why the Shihsanhang Museum of Archaeology was founded and established in Bali district. It's the first archaeology museum in northern Taiwan. So some may ask, why do we need to care about all these stones and metals that were hundreds of years ago? So I would say archaeology is about studying all these different materials from the past, but understanding maybe we can explain some of the behavior we have now today. So the museum is founded, and the museum venue, I mean the museum building itself, is actually a state of art. It was awarded, it was award-winning Taiwanese architecture. So let me decode this museum for you. You can divide it into three parts. The first part is called the Whale Dune Observation Platform. So the meaning is that the researchers believe that the early ancestor came from the sea. So there's a platform that facing to the sea. The second part is the Octagon Tower. The archaeological Octagon Tower is not in the perfect octagon shape. This means that the relics and the artifacts that were unearthed, of course we have a lot of artifacts, but the problem is it's not enough to rebuild the whole scene of the prehistorical settlement. And also some of the artifacts are not didn't being unearthed because of the sewage plants projects. So it's trying a little bit like a protest to the sewage project as well. The very last part of the museum building is a narrow wall, and the narrow wall actually pointed to the inland part of New Taipei City, to the direction of Linkou district, where there is another historical site called Dabenkeng historical site. That one is from Neolithic era, whereas the Shihsanhang culture is Iron era. So researchers suggested the two have a strong connection, and also the distance not that far as well. Also, the researchers have suggested that the Shihsanhang culture also may have linked with the Aboriginal tribe of Katagalan in Greater Taipei region. So that's the building of the museum. And if you actually walk into the museum, you have to go up a slope and go down. As if you're an archaeologist, you go up a hill and go down to dig out all the artifacts. The permanent exhibition in the museum is called Back to Shihsanhang. It tells the story of the Shihsanhang historical site, from the pilot that discovered Shihsanhang, how the archaeologists dig out the artifact, and also how they did research, and how they tried to rebuild and reimagine how the site would have looked like in the past. If you are there, try not to miss the one of the very important artifacts. It's called the anthropological jar. That jar is a red brownish jar with a lot of decorations on it. But what it makes it special is because it has a very vivid human face on that jar. From this jar we can know that not only does this culture have the ability to trade with foreign powers and the ability to produce their own iron, but also have the very high level of ability in pottery. So I would say this is what I probably need to cover about the Shihsanhang Museum of Archaeology. It makes this being in Bali district, very close to Damshui, makes it perfect if you are planning for a trip to a whole day trip in Damshui and Bali. Thank you very much.